Yay! Welcome back to everyone's favorite part, voiceover. Yeah, let's get started. Well, first off, happy official spooky season. It is officially October now. And this means my life is getting a bit more busier with the haunted houses and work and everything, as seen by this video's delay. It was supposed to come out last week, but my mother needed an emergency moo-moo. So, you're welcome, Mother. And then my sewing machine just decided to kill itself. I don't know what happened. My dad doesn't know what happened, and he's been sewing way longer than I have. But it just now needs a new part. Okay, so hand sewing from now on till foreseeable future. But anyway, Moo is done. Everything's handled. Finally have a tiny bit of time to record this and get this one out. So, without more excuses, onto the doll, fashionably late as always in PJs. Let's go. This week we are going to be doing Annabelle. This is going to be inspired by the Sculptor, just like Pennywise was. Annabelle originally comes from the Conjuring series, so I did take into consideration and take some screenshots from my favorite Annabelle movie. And that is kind of where some decisions made in the sketch, but we won't actually be using those. Will most likely, well, we will be staying closer to the Sculptor just because I ran out of time and I decided to change my mind a tiny bit along the way. But we'll talk about that when we get there. A lot of these decisions are going to come straight from the Sculptor doll, so if they do seem a bit weird, I based it off of the Sculptor doll. I really enjoy this doll. The only thing I really have a problem with is her dress. I don't know what cheap high school prom Macy's clearance rack they decided to put her in, but for me it is not working. So the only thing I really knew I wanted to change going in was this dress. So the sketch really is just her more demonic face, and the flowy white dress I really wanted to put her back in. This is where I had to make a choice, reading off the script and stuff like that, because I was looking through my doll bases and I knew this was going to be the next one that I got inspired to do, but I didn't really have any good doll bases for this, and I wanted this to kind of be a series, and to do that you kind of want things to kind of look the same. So my little raccoon heart broke, and I went and I bought used dolls for like $10 each. It broke my little raccoon heart, who's used to spending like 30 cents at the outlet for them. It was so sad. But I think in the end it'll be worth it. But boy, I was not thrilled to spend the money, and I know that's not a bad price for these doll bases and what they are. I'm just a raccoon at heart who loves my trash panda ways. So getting on to that, we're going to do a lot of more Rainbow High, and that does call into Sam. I just wanted to touch base on that real quick. I think it'll be okay for him or her, they, I don't really know, to be a different doll base, since the rest of the series I have planned to do is more like an actual object, where Sam is kind of just an embodiment of a holiday. So I think that'll work okay, since he is going to be just more of like a figment. I don't know how to say it. He's not like a tangible thing. He's more just like an idea come to life. So I think that'll be okay in the overall scale of things going forward. I just wanted to throw that out there because I am really proud of that doll and I do like how it comes out, but I think with how the series is going to go, it'll be a bit different. But enough about Sam. Onto an equally different color palette, which is basically two colors. I'm going to start with the dress. And the problem with Annabelle that I had during this thing is I knew I wanted to put her back in her white iconic dress with her red details. But how do you make a white dress look interesting and not just like one-toned or just flat looking? So for me, I went with words are hard. So I just went down the road where I just went with different textures. So I tried to find different white fabrics that have different textures in them. So like a shirt material versus a tight versus like just like a cotton. I guess so I just used all different types of white fabric that I possibly could for her dress and her socks. Her socks are honestly just straight against the Skeletor. I don't know if she wears socks or what, but the Skeletor doll had them. And I'm just putting mine socks. They are a bit longer, I will admit, but that's where the sock comes from. And I don't have a large Annabelle doll that I really wish I had, but I can't swing it right now cash-wise because I bought more Sun and Moon merch that I probably shouldn't have. But moving on from my obsession of why I can't check the actual official Annabelle doll because I bought more Sun and Moon merch, onto Annabelle's red accessories, which I do know are there. Because of pictures, I don't have a problem. Okay, but on a serious note, I did have a red prom dress, a fabric that I was going to use for a Wicked project, and the dress comes with little spaghetti straps. Ooh, just little spaghetti straps. So I ended up cutting those off, and they're like the perfect width and size for this doll. So I ended up doing that and just sewing on those details. Now Annabelle, the only real detail she has on her dress is this flower that she has. I looked through my stash and I ended up finding a perfect floral. No, it was a ribbon flower that I got when my grandma passed away. And so I inherited a bunch of her sewing stuff and that just happened to be one of them. I think this is a perfect place for it, honestly. I can sew it on and it just needs a bit of a paint job for that, which I'm fine with. I was actually dog sitting at this point, so switching a bit over, we're going to start with the hair. This is where the doll took a really downturn and time consuming. You would not think this doll took me literally all week. This hair, I've ordered this lovely hair from dollyhair.com, but the head was so incredibly hard. And we've not had like really warm days, and I just didn't want to heat up the head or anything. My own fault, I know, but it took me 3 times as long to pluck this head. And I have blisters on my hand from how long it took me to do this. And then I ran out of hair for some of it. That comes in later of why she has a little headscarf. Because live and learn, I think I over plucked the bangs and made them a bit too thick. I'm still learning hair plugs, but I also wanted to give her a crisscross part line since she does have 2 really big braids. Still learning hair punching. I'm still new to this whole doll thing. Doll customization, who is she? She does not exist here. She does not exist well here. And then for the face up, I didn't really have anything specific I wanted to go with. Annabelle is kind of just a doll and just like a bit more with darker features. So I just basically looked up that scratchy nose and just went from there. And you can see me painting in the shoes. These shoes were again inspired by the Skeletor doll with just a white, and then you can see me adding sparkles to some blue. That is just another texture that I wanted to do with this white. You can kind of see it in the Skeletor doll, how the shoes are a bit more shiny versus everything else, but I wanted to emulate that with a bit of sparkle. And these shoes are the only ones in Rainbow High, I believe, that have roses on the back, which again is just blatantly copying the Skeletor doll who has a little rose emblem on the top of her shoe, but these are just going to be on the heels. Again, I really liked the Skeletor doll. I didn't think anything was wrong with it other than the horrendous dress. Okay, going back to the dress really quick, I forgot to tell you, my camera died during that. So I'm so sorry about that. But all you guys really missed was maybe the adding of the ribbon, adding the rest of the details, and I added in a red underskirt. It's the same way I did the top white one, and it's the exact same thing, but it's red. The white was giving just the tiniest bit of a sheer to it, where you couldn't really see through it, but if you were up close to it, you could, and I didn't really like that. Also, I was debating because there was a scene where she was getting thrown down the well where it looks like, I swear, there is a second piece of fabric, some kind of underskirt, but I could not for the life of me find anything about it. So I ended up just doing a red one because it kind of just fit her whole color scheme, and if it peeked through, I think it would be a good little poof out as well. I will be honest, I did the hair off camera because this is the first time I actually had to boil wash a hairstyle after I did the face up. I couldn't decide when was a good time since this is a doll that has very strict bangs. I don't have bangs, but bangs cause a problem because I don't know how good my sealant is, and I didn't want to find that out with this. So I did it after the face just so I could make sure it didn't get paint on it. So I did this off camera because very hot water, the process of boil washing is when you take really hot water, put the hair in it, and then immediately turn it back into cold. But for me, I had to do the extra step of trying not to hit the face because I didn't want anything to happen. And I also styled it off camera as well. Don't be mad about that. You didn't miss anything other than me trying to play with some glue and horrendously cutting bangs. I have a big old forehead, but bangs scare me, and I don't cut them very well, so it was better off camera, promise. And then the very, very, very last thing is I decided to give this cutie Ludi na doll that I found and give it to Annabelle. So we just have to repeat all of those steps really quickly into this smaller version, but I'll do that off camera just so you guys don't have to rewatch everything. But yeah, on to the final shots. I will be honest, this doll gave me so much uncertainty that I could barely speak. And I was certain after I did the face up that this might not turn out very well, but I think in the end it really just pulls together. And I really like the little doll. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, this doll is going to be a part of the Halloween drop. If you want to see the other two ones previously, it's going to start with Doing Things With Me with Pennywise. Yeah, and come with me back for more PJ spooky fun, where I do voiceovers in PJs because I procrastinate and I like comfy things. Well, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Stay spooky. Thank you again. Bye!